Hello, this is Ann DeSantis. I'm with the St. Raymond Onassis Foundation for Freedom, Family, and Faith. You can learn about us on our website at nonazis.org. I'm thrilled to be here with you on this day for Modern Saints to discuss the life of St. Katherine Drexel. And she was born in 1858, died in 1955 in the city of Philadelphia, which is where I am located. So she is a Philadelphia saint. Her body lay at the Basilica of Saints Peter and Paul in Philadelphia. So if you're ever in our area, be sure to visit. There's so much history there, right at our own basilica here in Philadelphia. So it's such an honor to be able to talk to you during these short 15 minutes that I'll be speaking about St. Katherine Drexel. So much to learn about her. And basically, she was a missionary nun who used her personal fortune to fund schools for Native Americans and for African Americans. She was canonized in the year 2000 by St. John Paul the Great. So I encourage you to learn about her on your own because this video is very short, but there's so much more to learn about the wonderful life of this saint. She was born in Pennsylvania in 1858, and in 1891, she left her heiress when she wanted to become a nun. She subsequently founded the Order of the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament and used her fortune to create new schools for Native Americans and African Americans across the United States. And as I said, she died in 1955. She was 96 years old. And from what I understand, the last years of her life, she used to pray and to contemplate because most of her younger life was working in the missions. And so she was blessed with a long life where she was able to devote much time to praying in front of the Blessed Sacrament. And as I said, canonized in 2000. So she has a fascinating life because she was a woman who was born into a very wealthy family in Pennsylvania, the Drexels. In fact, if you've ever heard of Drexel University, named after the family itself, as I said, she was born in 1858. The day of her birth was actually November 26th. She's the second child of a prominent wealthy banker, Francis Anthony Drexel, and his wife, Hannah Langstroth. Her mother passed away just 5 weeks after Katherine was born, and her father remarried Emma Beauvoir in 1860. And together they had another daughter in 1863, Louisa Drexel. The girls received a wonderful education from private tutors and traveled throughout the United States and Europe. The Drexels were financially and spiritually well endowed. They were devout in the practice of their faith, settling in an excellent example of true Christian living for they had three daughters. They not only prayed, but practiced what the church calls the spiritual and corporal works of mercy. So we know that that is so important, especially at this time that we're living in, to practicing those spiritual and corporal works of mercy. And that was such a big part of who Katherine Drexel was, as the Lord spoke to her, the Holy Spirit spoke to her to make that outreach to Native Americans and African Americans. I think that right now at this particular time in history, it's an excellent time to call on the prayers of St. Katherine Drexel, because she is also the patroness of anything to do with racial differences, racial equality. So please do intercede to St. Katherine Drexel. She grew up seeing her father pray for 30 minutes each evening, and every week the stepmother opened the doors to the house to care for the poor. The couple distributed food, clothing, and provided rent and assistance to those in need. The Drexels would seek out and visit women who were too afraid and too proud to approach the home in order to care for the needs of Christian charity. And by the way, I should mention that I'm getting this information to you from Saints and Angels of Catholics Online. It's actually at Catholic.org, just to give you that information that I'm providing you from that website. And there's also some great books too on St. Katherine Drexel. After watching her stepmother suffer from terminal cancer for 3 straight years, she learned that no amount of money could shelter them from pain or suffering. And from this moment, Catherine took the life of sacrifice, and it took a turn. Her life took a turn when she imbued with a passionate love for God and neighbor, and she took an avid interest in material and spiritual well-being of Black and Native Americans. So that was really where God was calling her, was to make that outreach and pray. And even though she had, quite a fortune, she decided to go in a different direction and follow where God was leading her to doing the missionary work that she did. And from what I understand and from what I have read, is that she actually approached the Pope himself and asked him, what should I do? I mean, I would like to be involved in missionary work, but she came to the Pope and asked him if he could send someone there, some other missionaries. And he turned around to her and said, why not you? Why not you? Why does someone else need to do this? You should be the one. And so she took that very, very seriously when she made a decision to become that missionary herself. And she did. She spent many, many years working with Native Americans in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and the creation of schools throughout the Southwest, including ones on reservations, and opened schools for African American children. She founded a secondary school for African Americans in New Orleans, Louisiana in 1915. And 10 years later, the institution became Xavier University. So she is the founder of that university. And just to backtrack a little bit, when I was talking about the Pope, when she had gone to the Pope and said that she was requesting that help be brought to African Americans and also Native Americans, it was Pope Leo XIII. She had recommended that a religious order could send missionaries to institutions for funding. And he suggested that she undertake the missionary work herself. So that's exactly what she did. She took what he said very, very seriously and went about doing that missionary work. And then she suffered a heart attack in 1935. 2 years later, she gave up the leadership of her order, and she died at the age of 96 in 1955. The exact date is March 3rd in Cornwall Heights, Pennsylvania. During her life, she'd given approximately $20 million to help people in need. Just think about that, $20 million. She gave that to help others. I mean, how many of us would have the heart to do that? But she did. And that's what being a saint really is. It's being able to follow the will of God, follow even in a sacrifice of your own material wealth. So do pray to her, especially those who are going through financial difficulties and financial need. I would say she's also a good saint to pray to. Her order had more than 500 members at the time of her death. And with her assistance, the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament had opened 145 missions, 49 elementary schools, 12 high schools, and today the order continues its missionary and educational work. So she really was an amazing saint, Saint Katherine Drexel. It's Catherine with a K, by the way. And in the 1960s, the Catholic Church began the process of considering Drexel for sainthood. She was beatified in 1988 after the Vatican found that prayers to Drexel had restored a teenager's hearing. And in the year 2000, she was credited with a second cure. So Pope John Paul II canonized her as Saint Katherine Drexel later that same year. And her feast day again is March 3rd. So there's a lot for us to think about, a lot more to learn about Katherine Drexel. I would recommend that you do some reading on her, learn more. I know I want to learn more. I'm certainly not an expert on St. Katherine Drexel, but I do feel blessed because I'm coming to you from Philadelphia, which is where she was from Pennsylvania, from southeastern Pennsylvania. And she's just a saint that is held so highly, especially in our Archdiocese of Philadelphia. So thank you so much. And I offer you my prayers and want to just tell you a little bit about the foundation where I'm the director in case you would like to connect with me. I am the director for the St. Raymond Nonatus Foundation for Freedom, Family, and Faith. And what we do is we help families in crisis, especially those who are affected by divorce and separation. We offer a free spiritual consultation appointment. So if you go to our website at nonatus.org, that's spelled NONNATUS.org, you can learn about the work that we do. Please do visit us there and connect with us on social media. I'll give you my email and my cell number too, in case you know someone who would like to set up this spiritual consult. It's director.srnf@gmail.com. And my work cell you can text is 215-870-9913. I thank so much Smart Catholics for putting on this conference on modern saints, and very blessed, and offer you my prayers with the intercession of St. Katherine Drexel. God bless and enjoy this wonderful conference.